recent arrest in Marlborough has revealed the true identity of a man who wasn't who he said he was and had even used someone else's tax returns to hide it.
An officer had been investigating a person that I believe had been living in Massachusetts for actually like over 10 years. When he started doing some investigation into it, he found that he had actually been filing his tax returns under this name for over 5 years.
Yet Sergeant Campbell says while this story is one that is uncommon in Marlborough, it's not the first time they've heard of it, and it certainly won't be the last.
We have been seeing it a lot more in Massachusetts, and not just Massachusetts, it's happening throughout the country. What ends up happening is that people that gain access to the United States have been using identities from Puerto Rico primarily because they're U.S. territory and gain all the U.S. citizen rights that they'd be able to get from anywhere else in the country. They're able to go to the Registry of Motor Vehicles as long as they have all this documentation and then obtain a mass license even with their photo that they're using, their actual real photo. People can pay for packages. A lot of the times they sometimes come from Puerto Rico, or even the person themselves may be willing to sell their identity to someone that wants to move to Massachusetts, or even sometimes there's been cases where people will sell someone's identity more than 1, 2, or even 3 times. As long as they're in different parts of the country, we're a little bit slow in picking up that identity.
Once a person has that new identity, there's no limit to what they can do, including committing crimes under a false name.
People can take on multiple identities, so say that they're involved in drug distribution. If they've been charged 2 or 3 times and they've likely start getting to the point where they can be facing serious criminal charges or jail sentences, they could take on a whole new identity and almost start clean again.
Thankfully, Sergeant Campbell says once they catch someone using a false ID, there's one thing that will give away who they really are every time.
People's fingerprints never change. So as soon as they're arrested on something, we can be able to see any potential aliases they've used or any time that their fingerprints have been run through any different name.
And as for the person whose identity was stolen,
the identity is always a real person. So we'd be able to run them or find out information if they did come from Puerto Rico. They'll have a Puerto Rican license perhaps, or they'll have other identifying information in Puerto Rico. It's just that they've never visited Massachusetts, they've never been a part of here, so that's why they go. But we do really want the public to feel empowered to tell us about these issues going on, because they can. Just because it's someone else, I mean, it could really lead to some problems in law enforcement or just within the community itself.